Let's talk about a number that smacks more contractors upside the head than any other ratio in this business. Labor burden. Because what you pay a worker isn't what they cost. Not even close. You think your guy costs $25 an hour? Try again. Add in payroll taxes, insurance, benefits, PTO, training, safety gear, fuel, downtime, admin, and everything else tied to that person. That $25 per hour guy is actually closer to $38 to $42, maybe even $50. And that, my friend, is your labor burden ratio. So what is the labor burden ratio? The labor burden ratio is calculated by taking your total labor costs divided by the base wages. So let me break that down a little better. Base wages, what you pay the worker directly, hourly or salary, whatever it is. Then you take the total labor cost. That's the all-in cost you have to have that worker on your payroll. So if you pay a guy $25 an hour, but your total cost with taxes, insurance, and overhead is $40 an hour, that's $40 divided by $25 equals 1.6. That's a 60% labor burden. That means for every dollar in direct wages, you're paying 60 cents extra for overhead and related costs. So why does this matter? Because if you're estimating labor at straight wage, but your actual cost is 50 to 60% higher, you're underbidding every single job. You think you're making profit, but what you're really doing is funding payroll losses with hope and hustle. So what is a normal labor burden? It varies depending on how you run your company. 1.3 to 1.5, that's a typical range for contractors. You might be looking at 1.6 to 1.8 if you offer health benefits, PTO, and have overhead-heavy operations. If you're over 2.0, you better have a solid margin baked into your pricing. Here's the bottom line. If you're ignoring labor burden, you're lying to yourself and to your estimate. Here's a real contractor wake-up call. Had a GC pricing labor at about $30 an hour in his bids. Seems fair, he said. But when we ran his actual labor burden with payroll taxes, liability, comp, vehicle costs, paid holidays, supervision, and admin, real cost was $52 an hour. So he was underpricing labor by $22 an hour across every job, every crew, every week. No wonder his profit disappeared before the job was halfway done. So let's talk about how to calculate yours. Start by gathering everything tied to labor. Your base pay, your employee payroll taxes, which includes FICA, FUTA, SUTA, those kind of things. Your workers' comp, your general liability, health insurance, your paid time off, paid holidays, safety gear, truck plus fuel if assigned to them. You also have admin time related to managing field staff. So you total that per employee and divide it by their base wage. That's your real labor burden ratio. So here's how to use it. Number one, bid smarter. Use burden labor rates in your estimates, not base wages. Number two, group them by field type. Field crew might be 1.4. Your foreman might be 1.7. Apprentices may be 1.2. Know your averages and apply accordingly. Number three, I would say update these quarterly. Insurance rates change, fuel costs spike. Don't use last year's math on this year's jobs. Number four, educate your estimators. If they're bidding on straight wages, they're setting you up to fail. So here's the final word. Labor is your biggest cost and the easiest to underestimate. So stop bidding with fantasy math. Start using real numbers. And remember, every hour you underestimate labor burden is a dollar you're giving away. Because that $25 an hour guy, he doesn't cost $25. He costs what your books say it costs. And if you don't know that, you're not running a business. You're running a donation center.